Hi, this is Christina and Ewen with the Sunshine District. We are in MyPsychLab today. We're going to spend a few minutes just going through some of the basic features and what all this application can offer for an introductory psychology course. So here on the home page, right after you log in, we immediately have the book right now where you have the Lilienfeld book. You can either read the e-text or listen to it, which this is a great feature for ADA compliance for students that may be visually impaired and need to listen to the text, as well as for students that may want to listen to the text while they're at the gym or doing other things. So provide some really great formats there. Starting with some of the basic features, we have the e-text, as we just mentioned. So we have, again, listen and reading to the text, available on Apple iPad or Android with the Pearson e-text app. The course calendar is where all of your students will be able to see what assignments you've assigned them. It's very easy to read, easy to see when they have things due. I don't know if you've got any in here right now, but we can add one by going to Instructor Tools and Assign Content. So, for example, we could look at Chapter 1, Review Learning Objectives. So we can make that due. You just take it and drag it right on over to whenever you want it due. So let's try next Friday. So now that assignment is due, we can click on it. Review of the Chapter 1 Learning Objectives is due at 11:59. You can go back in, look at the assignment properties, when it's due. So going back to View Advanced Calendar. This would show all of the assignments that are due for Friday. You can look at the week or the month. So coming back into the lab, we can go back up to Course Calendar, and there's our assignment. So these are all of the tools through Course Home, through Student Tools, that they would be able to see. All of these are strictly instructor, but the student would then be able to see the assignment that is due. Course content is really the kind of the meat and potatoes of the psych lab. So we can just kind of go through some of these different activities. Chapter 1 study plan is a great tool. So this is, again, the diagnostic test that we offer per chapter. So the student doesn't have to take one diagnostic for the entire course content. They can do it for each chapter. So the student would take the pre-test, and then after going through some of the content, we want to take the post-test and see how they are able to improve. It'll also, after taking Chapter 1 pre-test, it's going to recommend study material and the learning objectives that they need to study more. And then they'll be able to go through that content in a similar way, only after answering each question, it's going to provide some material and some content around each question that it asks in order to ensure that the student is actually really learning the material. We also have writing assessments to kind of foster some critical thinking. We're going to go over to writing space to see what those look like. So writing practice for Introduction to Psychology. So we have some students enrolled here that we have graded and auto-scored. So these are prompts that we have put into each of the chapters that we have about 800 to 900 different students write, and then we had quite a few educators grade them on the same rubric. So we actually trained the system to understand what a 5 looks like, what a 4 looks like. So it's a great auto-scoring feature. You can also go ahead, of course, go in and grade accordingly with either the rubric that we have in here or a rubric that you want to create yourself. You can put resources in here for them to look at, as far as if you want them to be writing this paper based off of some material. You can put that in there. So there's some really great features here. We also have this all goes through turnitin.com if you would like it. So minimizing some plagiarism mishaps there as well. And as you can see, there's multiple different areas of which the student can get this writing practice in and really foster some more critical thinking. Again, this isn't intended to be the end-all, be-all, especially with the auto-scoring exam, but definitely by the time they get to your class, if you have an in-class exam that involves some writing, it's intended to help the students really be prepared and improve for that. So I've come down here to student resources on the left. So all of the students are going to have access to all of these features. So we have flashcards that you can make alongside the e-text. So within the e-text, the student can essentially make terms and flashcards for themselves. So that's a really great feature for studying. MyPsychLab has quite a few different tools as far as just from the writing perspective of psychology, and looking through some plagiarism tutorials, research from students from the APS, and more. MySearchLab has quite a few tools. We can go into that for just a second. So if we go into My Psych Library, after we click on MySearchLab, we've got the guides for presentations, for curriculum, so a lot of different tools here. And come back over to the lab. We've also got links out to the American Psychological Association and the Association for Psychological Science. So students can just click right there, and then of course there's tons of information that they can look at here, or that you can have them go to. So then this also, we've got links out to YouTube for psychology videos. Come back to the lab, kind of a hallmark feature, speaking of some of these videos, is the video series up here. These are videos that Pearson has put a lot into, and is here for any students that are using MyPsychLab. So this is a key feature that you can use during your classes. You can assign them. There's a graded assignment after each one. It's fairly short, but just intended to help engage the student a little bit further. So they do correlate to each chapter. So Introduction to Psychology, these are all chapters in the Lilienfeld text. So every so often you can play one of these videos or have them watch them at home, but there are, as you can see, just quite a few of them. So these are really great videos to up the engagement factor in your classroom. Another really key hallmark feature is just above the video series is simulations. So these are simulations that allow students to participate in online simulations of classic psych experiments and research-based inventories. So this really lets the student get involved and have kind of some stakes in it as they're playing what feels like to them almost like a game, which is something that they're accustomed to, and it's really bringing the educational experience to what they're accustomed to. So inside the simulations, you can go ahead and click Psych 101. You can go over to Activity Manager, select one of these. So as you can see, we've got hemispheric specialization as the experiment. So there's an introduction kind of explaining the basis of the experiment. And continuing on with some more information on introduction. And there's obviously a question here, so you can say that. So it really is kind of adapting to you specifically by asking some of these questions. So then we've got the instructions on what we're about to do. I'm not going to go through all of these for purposes of time right now, but as you can see, it'll walk through the experiment, the results. It'll start a discussion and also some references as far as some of the information that's relevant here. So really great tool, very interactive, really going to increase the engagement level and foster some critical thinking on these topics. There is a downloadable user guide here for you, so you can definitely learn quite a bit there as far as how to really make the most of this tool. Coming back down in the lab, instructor tools, we also have, of course, the grade book. You can generate reports as far as figuring out where the majority of your students are struggling, where they're doing really well, assigning tests. Again, preferences. This is your course, and we've gone through quite a bit to make sure that we make it as flexible and as adaptable to your specific course and how you want grading to work, how you want the activities to be due, what you want the test to look like. So you can really play around in here and figure out exactly how you want it. Course resources. Again, this is kind of similar to the student resources, but I really wanted to point out that DSM-5 is coming. So we have a full instructor's manual here that you can go through. It's pretty extensive as far as just knowing exactly how to prepare your class to be prepared for DSM-5 there as well. So that's a great tool. Have Lynn Kemen out of Hunter College that put this together for us that we partnered with. So that's a great tool there. So that's in course resources just at the very bottom. And of course your course roster here, you can make sure that see how all your students are doing here. Alrighty, well that is MyPsychLab and some of the hallmark key features. Again, the writing space, we can foster some critical thinking. We've got the video series to watch, some great information there, and also the simulations to really get students involved. And then for you, we've got that DSM-5 teaching guide. So this is MyPsychLab, and thanks for joining me, and I hope to work with you soon.